It starts with an idea. You never really know what something's going to mean to you. Not right away. The Steam Deck is a device designed for gaming, sure, but somehow it's become something more. I imagine that's how it began for Gabe and the team at Valve, too. One small idea that grew into something millions of people now hold in their hands. And maybe that's where everything starts, with curiosity, a spark, with a moment that makes you think, what if I made something of my own? Hey buds, 10,000 of you, wow, that's a lot of Steam Decks. I don't think I've ever said this out loud, but when I started this channel about 9 weeks ago, I didn't really expect anyone to watch. I just knew that I could make a decent video. And now here we are, 10,000 subscribers and counting later. The crazy part is that we're only 4 videos in, and so I feel like we really haven't had a chance to get to know each other yet. I want to change that. And judging by the overwhelmingly positive response and the general vibe of,
who is your daddy and what does he do?
You guys do too. Last week I asked you guys to send in questions about the Steam Deck, about me, about anything really, and there were a lot. Some were thoughtful, some were hilarious, and a few were just deeply concerning.
The f*** is that?
We've got a lot to get through, so let's get into it. So by far, the question I get asked the most is about how these videos actually come together. LDD, Fizzburn, Google Calendar Official, Jana, you all are basically asking the same thing. What's the process like, and how long does it take? The short version, longer than you'd think. Each project takes about 40 to 50 hours from start to finish. Though I'll probably be the first to admit that my process is not the most efficient. Let's break it all down. Every video starts with an idea. I jot it down, then start writing the script over a few days. I'll read it out loud, tweak the pacing, rewrite lines that sound off. Once the words feel right, then I break it down visually. Color-coded shot lists, notes for memes, gags, screenshots. Everything goes into one big organized mess inside an app I use called Milanote. It's the place where all of my pre-production happens, and without this app, my videos probably wouldn't be nearly as put together as they are, and it would take me twice as long to do them. Then comes filming. I usually shoot B-roll, all the funny bits, footage of me, and what I like to call D-roll. Those sick-looking studio-lit close-ups of the deck. The last thing I film is A-roll, which is what you're looking at right now. All of that totals to about a 12 to 15-hour day, setting up lights, framing shots, and doing a few takes just to get enough coverage. I do all of my editing within Final Cut Pro. I've been using it for about 13 years. I'll get into that in a minute. Editing usually happens over the course of a week, maybe 20 to 25 hours depending on the length, and then it's off to export and upload. So yeah, writing, filming, editing, grading, audio, it's all me. That's why every one of my videos starts with created by Polydroid, because every part of it really is. Now I get a lot of questions about how I learned all of this, where I picked it up, if I studied film, whether this is my first YouTube channel, but the one that really sums it up came from King Juan, who asked, what was the inspiration for your editing style? I started making videos back in 2009, doing guitar covers in my bedroom on a webcam, and I edited them in Windows Movie Maker. I made quite a few of those, and they were terrible. By 2013, I started writing for a gaming website, and that's when I started to dabble in like video reviews, and that's really where I started to gain an understanding for pacing and flow. By 2015, I went back to the music videos, and I started filming those on my iPhone 6, front camera by the way, and that's when I fell down the Final Cut Pro rabbit hole. Every project taught me something new, how to sync clips, how to cut on a beat, how to properly use lighting, how to use a green screen. I was constantly experimenting. Oh, God. In 2019, I got my first real camera, and that kind of cracked everything wide open. I started chasing narrative. I got involved in short films, weddings, small documentaries, travel vlogs, basically anything that would let me tell a story. And in 2022, I launched my first YouTube channel. My first video had about 3,000 views. My second video hit almost 250,000. And that was the first time that I thought, like, I guess I know how to edit a video. I don't know. All that to say, I never studied film. Everything came from trial and error and way too many bad videos that will never see the light of day. I love gaming and I love the Steam Deck, but all of that comes secondary to my love for making videos. Okay, well, welcome to my bedroom. One of my earliest subscribers, PJakeman468, asked, "What was the first game you played? And if a different one, what was the first game that got you hooked onto gaming?" So the first game that I ever played was Super Mario Brothers on the NES. I was in elementary school and I remember coming home one day and my dad was in my bedroom playing Tetris on this TV. Didn't have a TV before, but there was one there now. And I think they had picked it up from like the thrift store or something and hooked up to it. It was an NES and it had the Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt pack-in. Yeah, Mario Brothers was my first. But honestly, as a kid, I was like a passive gamer. I played games, but like I loved just being outside. Yeah! Anyways, yeah, it wasn't until the PS1 and Final Fantasy VII and Metal Gear Solid, those games, man, when they came out, I didn't think games could do what those games were doing at the time, and they completely changed the way I looked at games, and I can confidently say that I'm playing games today because of those two games. Kai Putsituff asks, "What's your favorite game of all time?" So my favorite game of all time, it's usually a toss-up. Sometimes it changes with the seasons. The first ones that come to mind right now are Final Fantasy VIII, Metal Gear Solid, Persona 4 Golden, and The Last of Us. I know that Final Fantasy VII it was my first one and was a landmark game for me, but 8 is my favorite one in the series. And also, it has the best soundtrack in the entire Final Fantasy series. That's not even up for debate. But here are my top 25 in no particular order. Darwin MP4 and Nicholas Diaz Medina both asked if I would recommend buying a Steam Deck. Two things, yes, and look out for the next video. Lastly, Golan Vadis 6989 asked, "What surprised you most about the Steam Deck, and which game have you played the most?" Honestly, I've put a lot of hours into the Steam Deck. I couldn't really tell you off the top of my head which game I played the most. I could probably look it up right now, but the thing that comes to mind immediately that surprised me most about the Steam Deck was the people. The community surrounding the deck, and here on YouTube and right here in this channel, it's unlike anything I've seen in gaming. It's collaborative, it's creative, it's supportive. I've made friendships with other creators who are just as stoked about the stuff I'm making as the stuff they're making. And those are really rare relationships. This guy right here, JD, we talk every day. He's great. Go subscribe to him, The Analog Den. Yeah, this type of stuff, it's rare online, and I'm just so happy to be a part of it. Because like the deck, the reason that I started this channel, it's a personal one. A lot of you wanted to know why I started this channel in the first place. Random Ranger asked, "Why did you make this YouTube channel?" Back in late May, my best friend and my pup, Pippin, got really sick. Pip was born with a kidney disease called renal dysplasia, and while we managed it as best we could for 5 years, in May it progressed really fast. One day he was fine, and the next day he just couldn't keep up anymore. We tried everything, emergency vets, kidney specialists, IV fluids, blood transfusions, but nothing was helping, and his vet finally told us that the kindest thing that we could do for Pip was to help him live out the rest of his days as comfortably as possible. So that's what we did. I mentioned in my first Steam Deck video that my initial relationship with the Steam Deck was pretty lukewarm, and that's very true. For the first year and a half I owned it, I didn't really use it much, but during that time with Pip, I picked it back up. And it was in those quiet moments where Pip would drift off and go to sleep, when I was just sitting with him, where I would pick up the Steam Deck and I would just kind of play with it, just like something small to focus on. And that is when I stumbled upon this whole creative handheld community on YouTube. So when Pip passed in early June, it was the first time in my life I really truly felt grief. I've lost coworkers and friends, even family. Typically in my life, when I don't know what to do with feelings that big, I write. It was a lot harder than I expected. And so I realized that I needed a creative breather, so to speak. And that's when it clicked. I'd realized what a companion the Steam Deck had been for me during those quiet times with Pip. And so I started writing my first video. Logan Staples K8I asks, "Did you have a bunch of different video ideas for your first one, or did you come up with one idea and roll with it?" And Google Calendar Official asked, "How could you gather so many views from the very first video you published? Would be curious if you studied a plan to reach a broad audience." Truth is, there was no plan. No algorithm, no strategy, no hack. I made that first video because I needed to make it. To really boil it down, this channel was born from a loss. That's always been a really complicated feeling for me but while I'm really proud of everything we've built here and how far we've come, I miss my sweet boy. If you've ever wondered what this P stands for on my necklace, I don't know if you can see that. He's here in every video. So, if you've made it this far and you like my videos and the community and what we've built here and you're okay with a dude crying on camera, it would mean the absolute world to me. You could just write in the comments, "Thank you, P." Okay, so that got a little heavy. Let's bring the mood back up before I start ugly crying on camera again. I got a ton of questions that didn't really fit anywhere else. Quick ones, weird ones, and probably ones that shouldn't have made the cut, but here we are. So, welcome to Nate Endo asks, what is your favorite movie of all time, and which movie do you feel is a must-watch? This one's my favorite, this one's a must-watch. JT Patan asks, favorite Thrice album? Three Ways High. Or Bindo. Have you ever played Antechamber? No. Christian Mucci. Would genuinely love to know more about your life, whatever you're willing to share. I was a Twitch streamer for 3 years. These are the loves of my life. I have too many cameras. Silly cats. What did you want to be when you grew up? An art teacher. All of these people asked what I do for a living.
So I've spent the last 11 years of my life working for a really massive tech company.
Blue-Eyed Tech 1234. What equipment do you use to record and edit your videos? This is my camera. This is my gear. This is my desk. This is my computer. Hunter the G. What music do you like? Favorite albums from this year? These are some bands I listen to, and this is my favorite album this year. Orbindo. Me again. I just really want to know if you've ever played Antechamber. Damn it, Orbindo, no. But really, it looks sick. Miles. What is the name of your mushroom mug? I'm not sure, but it was a random find from the one time I was at a Cracker Barrel. My neighbor Cecilia. Write me a poem. Roses are red, violets are blue.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
Olshansky19040 asked, do you have a membership I can donate to? I've actually gotten this question a lot, and first off, that kind of blows my mind. The idea that people would want to support this channel is just crazy to me. But I've sat and I've marinated on the idea for a while. So today, I'm starting YouTube memberships and a Patreon. In an effort to not overcomplicate things, I'm gonna keep it super simple. On YouTube, there are 2 tiers. The first one's $4.99 a month. It gets you loyalty badges, custom emojis, behind-the-scenes posts and photos, and your name featured in the credits at the end of every video as a way of saying thank you for being a part of every production. The second one is $7.99 a month and includes all that stuff I just talked about, plus 24-hour early access to every new video. That way, you get to see everything before it goes public. Kind of like a mini test screening for the channel's biggest supporters. As for Patreon, that's meant to be something a little bit more personal. It's a place for the stuff that doesn't quite fit in a YouTube video or a community post. It's one simple tier for $5 a month. You'll get ad-free versions of my videos, plus a weekly blog where I share what I've been playing, watching, and listening to lately, along with occasional bloopers and behind-the-scenes videos that give you a peek into my process. Basically the relaxed, unscripted side of what I do here. And if that's not your thing, that is totally okay. You don't have to join or contribute to feel like you're a part of something here. You being here is already more than I could have asked for. We still got the Discord. It's free, it's active, it's super chill, and you can hang out and talk about games, share your setups, and be subjected to my terrible jokes from time to time. Anyway, whether you decide to join, follow along, or simply keep watching the videos, I cannot say this enough. Thank you. Lutz asks, what's the best lesson life has taught you so far? If there's one lesson that stuck with me through all of this, through art, loss, burnout, rebuilding, it's that nothing good happens overnight. Everything takes time, and most things worth doing take a lot of it. Just look at GTA 6. Everything I make starts from here. I have to love and believe in what I'm making, even if I don't think that anyone else will. When you chase something creative, it's easy to focus on the numbers or the milestones, but the real reward isn't in the end result, it's in the process. When I look back at the past couple of months, everything that's happened and kind of what we've built here, it still kind of feels surreal. This channel started because of a loss, but it has grown into something full of life. And I think that's the biggest lesson I've learned. Even when life gives you a run for it, beauty can be found in what comes next. Because everything, every video, every journey, every handheld, starts the same way, with an idea.